I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Tricknick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Tricknick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Management. This is different. We are back to what we are known for. You know, we always do a lot of coverage on Jamaica's football, but because of the World Cup, we've been away from it a little bit, but we are back tonight with a show where we are going to be going through the list of players, local players, that is, who have been called up to a training camp by Coach Meron Garden. This is an under-17 training camp preparing for the under-17 tournament in 2023. So we're going to show you the names, and what I would love for you to do is to tell me if there are any notable absentees. That's one. And also this I am understanding may not be the only camp, because there may be a next camp arranged with a next group of players, because I have some questions that I'm going to throw out there to kind of find out, you know, where are a few players. So there's a leaning towards one particular parish, and I'm going to highlight some stuff, not to create any contention, but just reasonable questions that I think must be asked. And we're going to do that in a very, respectful way, and in a way that seeks to bring solution to the present problems we have. Firstly, I need to say something. Recently, I did a show, and I was speaking about the need that at the local level, we can have a national team with all the players probably born outside of Jamaica or playing outside of Jamaica, meaning no player from the local leagues good enough to make it. That's at the senior level. That is also okay, I believe, at the under 23 level, because it's the next level that is closest to professional football, or the under 20 level. But at the under 17 and under 15 level of football, if you're focused on football development, if there is any development, you cannot have a team of under 15s and under 17s and no player in a squad of 20 to 30. One are players from your local football competitions. If you have 30 players and all of them are born outside of Jamaica, playing in your under 15 tournament, representing Jamaica, then there's a crisis with our football development. All right? Now, some people may see that as quota and xenophobia and all kind of thing, but I'm not perturbed by terms because those terms are just stuff that some people like to brandish on social media. It is not a quota, right? A quota is when you have, and I think I explained that, but I'll do it again. When you have a fixed amount that says this is how it has to be. It doesn't have to be, but for the purpose of development, at the under 15 level, you cannot have youths representing, and none of them are from the local. So I did some research. I said maybe I got it wrong, though I didn't believe I did. So I looked at all in the last 20 years, right? In the last 20 years, I looked at all the nations that were in the semifinals. And I will tell you this, there's no under 15 tournament, right? So let's put that out there. There's no under 15 tournament, all right? So you can't measure under 15, all right? At the under 17 level, if one person can find any other nation, the rich nations, big footballing nations, and small nations who had teams where 90% of the players and more, in some cases 100, in most cases 100%, at the under 17 level were not from their local competitions. Show me. And I'm telling you about big footballing nations to, I would say, even some non-footballing nations. So what am I saying? For your development to happen, you have to have at the under 15 and under 17, because under 15, in fact, let me educate you if you don't know, under 17 for FIFA competitions is not for winning. So those of you who think it is for winning, the purpose of their the under 15 tournaments, as you know, the tournaments are not like official. There's no official under 15 FIFA tournament. All right? I mean, there are some Caribbean and some CONCACAF stuff at the under 15, right? At the under 17, the FIFA document speak to the fact that at that level, it is about development. Development. It's not about winning. You hear me again? And I challenge any one of you to challenge me and show me one footballing nation that have an under 15 team where majority of their players are not from the country. Anyone are under 17. In fact, I will put it to you that normally, when it comes on to football, at the under 17 and the under 15 level, the players normally play in the nation that they are in. It is generally and easily seen that at the under 20 and the senior level is where the players make decisions. Now, I speak of this as a person who recently helped to keep a camp for under 17 players. I speak about this as a person who have some players who are under 17 who I'll be inviting to come and be a part and helping them to get all the documentation and to be a part of the under 17 team. I work to do that. But I will tell you again, any day you see any nation having an under 15 team and nobody living in that country can make it at the under 15 and the under 17 level, that nation should not be playing the sport of football. Cranky, listen, really, this is one of the things that I won't shift from, because I cannot understand somebody telling me that it is okay for 30 persons born in England who are 14 and 13 years old to represent Jamaica in a 30-man squad of footballers, and don't see how that will have a problem with the development. Remember, under 15, it's unfathomable that people think that this is a reality anywhere in football in the world. Number one, let me give you some things. Number one, and these are FIFA things, you can go and check them out. These are FIFA things. Whenever you have under 15 tournaments, they have to have chaperone. And that is why FIFA don't have under 15 tournament. It is the under 17 tournament that you need to measure. The under 17, because there's an under 17 World Cup. Under 17 football, generally across the world, is seen as development and talent identification. No, so I know that by this time the show is finished, some of you are going to walk away and say that management don't want nobody from overseas play for Jamaica, because it's just how Jamaicans are. They so and hearsay, and they say what they want to say regardless of what you're saying. Let me say it again. While at your senior level, you can have 30 players not born in Jamaica, never visited Jamaica playing for Jamaica, no problem. At your under 23 and your under 20 level, because those are your professional footballers. And that's a general pattern. You saw that with Morocco. Your under 15 and under 17 cannot be like that, because it is for the purpose of development. It's not professional. And so if you want to develop your youngster, that's what you have to use. So if you're not putting them in there, there's no development. I don't know how cranky. I don't know. Here, who is not talking? I don't know how merit comes into this. Let me say it again, people. You cannot, and no nation does this, none. If you can find, listen, if one person finds one nation that has an under 15 team, listen, I'm going to give you a low. We're 50%. Because remember, I started out with 100%. So I'm going to reduce it to, if you can find where 50% of those players are living in at the under 15 and under 17 level, you put it to me and I will take back all of that I've said. If you find one, just one, until you find one, shut up, because you have no facts to support what you're saying. I've just given you their FIFA documents that speak that under 15 football and under 17 is for the development of grassroots in a nation. That's what they call it. Grassroots development in a nation. So I don't understand how people are going to say it is okay for your grassroots development in a specific nation. It is okay to on merit have 30 people who don't born there or live in the nation to develop it. How that going to work? You are not obligated. Number two is this. You are not obligated. Hold on, we have a call coming
Killing
in.
me.
Yes,
Manix man.
good, Cranky, go ahead. No, man.
Manix
No,
man.
Cranky, no, go ahead.
You're
Cranky.
killing me. You're killing
No,
me.
man,
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Make your point with
You're
facts,
killing me.
and I'll challenge you. Go ahead, make your point. Make your point.
So here's the point. Do you have a problem?
No, man.
Wait, let me ask a question. Do you have a problem with Jamaica being represented in any sport with only local Jamaicans?
With only, what kind of question is?
Yes.
I'm talking.
With only locally born Jamaicans. Do you have a problem with that?
If I have a problem with,
Yes.
I don't understand the question, though. You have no, seriously. No, I'm not.
Man, don't evade the question.
No. Just
okay.
Hold on. No, man. You need to just slow down and ask the question because I don't understand. If I have a problem,
The question is this: do you have a problem with Jamaica teams being fielded, hockey, athletics, cricket, basketball, football, with only locally born players?
If I have a problem with it,
yes. It's a yes or no question. It's not magic. It's not magic. It's not a difficult question. Yes or no. Don't be cute, man. Answer your question. Answer the question. Yes or no.
I don't have a problem with our athletes going to Carifta. I mean, I understand the question.
No. That was the question, man.
So what is the question? Jamaica cricket.
Do you have a problem, man? Listen to the question.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with any Jamaican sports team being represented with only Jamaican-born personnel? It's yes or no. It's not a difficult question.
Jamaicans. No, I don't have any Jamaican. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the question because Jamaican can represent Jamaica. I don't understand.
Here we go again. I heard you before when you're talking, you know. I heard everything that you said.
But
you said for the under 15. No. You said it's a problem. You have a problem. You're being cute now. You say you have a problem with if the 30 people who represent Jamaica all come from overseas for under 15 because it's about development. That's what you said, right?
Exactly.
Right. So I ask you a question again. Do you have a problem, whatever age group, with only locally born personnel representing the country in any specific sport?
But
at any level. Do you have a problem with that?
Am I going to have a problem with that, Cranky? But that is what happened now. But I don't understand the question.
Saying. But you get the answer yes or no. That's all you got to do. And I go back to why try going with this.
You're asking me if I have a problem with Jamaicans representing Jamaica. No.
That's what.
All right.
So you're saying overseas personnel are not Jamaicans?
What are you? How you get into that?
Because you basically said you have a problem with 30 overseas Jamaicans represent Jamaica with no locally born players in those numbers. That's what you said.
No.
You're on tape.
No. So please, let me tell you what I said. Under 15 and under 17 football, FIFA stipulation is for developing in the nation. You cannot have that if you have the 30 players who are going to play. None of them are living in Jamaica or are born in Jamaica. Right. I didn't say that they are not Jamaican. Okay. That's what I said. So
you're saying that FIFA says. So you're saying that FIFA says you can't have a team comprised of overseas. No. You're trying to twist.
Listen, FIFA says under 15 and under 17 football is for development, grassroots development. That grassroots development is for local football. At the under 15 and under 17, the FIFA article clearly states that they are not for winning. Yes. So what is the sense of Jamaica using 13-year rule from England, born in England, they are Jamaican. What is the benefit for local football if the 13-year rule are living in England?
Right.
That is
what the benefit is, man.
What?
You know what the benefit is, man?
Tell me.
Because there's a war for talent, man.
But
there's a war for talent in the. No, let me finish now. You just say what you say. There's a war for talent in the world.
All right.
And whatever country's trying to do. Let me finish.
Yeah.
There's a war for talent. So what you try to do is get players as early as possible to be inundated, initiated, be part of your organization. So they're part of your culture. They're part of how they think. They're part of how they operate. They believe they're, when we finish, they're one of you. They're no longer English. They're no longer American. They're Jamaican in everything they think and how they operate. So when they get to the level where they're making the international commitment, we're not struggling to convince them because we saw the potential, we saw where they're going, we see we can bring them in, and we can have a work. Now you're saying that my job, you don't want to win. Let me just finish. Let me finish and I get off the phone.
No, man, I am not.
If you're saying my goal is not, wait up. If you say my goal is a participation, my goal is development, my goal is not necessarily just to win at all costs, that's a different discussion. I get upset when I hear you guys in Jamaica, because I'm telling you, a lot of you think the same. No matter what you want to say and caveat what you're saying, it's very disturbing to me. When Jamaica is not, don't compare Jamaica to any other country. There is no country on earth, none that have more than half the population inside the country.
You're wrong. You're wrong, Cranky. But go ahead.
Which other country you know have more than half the population inside the country?
I'm going to give you population stats to do it.
Tell me another country you know.
Cranky. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, man.
Go ahead.
Let's finish.
Go ahead.
You see, before I take on your population question, I want you to finish what you're saying because I am going to.
So what I'm saying is, I don't know if any other country.
No, man. You're
that has. Okay.
No, because I don't.
No, but here's the point I'm making. I'm saying your analogy you're making with other countries. You'll say you know of no other country X, Y, Z. First of all.
All right. Here's what I don't want to. No, man. All I'm saying is that I don't want you to miss your original point. Your original point. I'm going to get back to that. I should not have interrupted you, but I did. What I'm saying, I don't want you to get into the population. I'm going to deal with that. Your original point is what I want you to continue about finding talent at 13 and 12 years old. That is where we are at. Because under 15 is 14 and under. So let's deal with it one at a time. All right. So here's the problem, management. Here's the problem. Here's the problem we have, management. Finish making a point.
And we're seeing it, management. Here's my point. The problem we're having, management, is when you have a problem in life, figure out what's the root cause of the problem. And here's a perfect example where we can see the problem itself. We were dominant when I was growing up in cricket. Dominant. From the George Headley days, way back when, the early 1900s, through the 80s. Now we are nothing. We're not as good as the Bangladesh of the world. We're nothing. Just play Australia and get or whatever given to us. Because what's happening is the country's resources are dominating. When I was growing up, England was nonsense. India was nonsense. It shows you that resources determines your outcome, your output. And if we have Jamaicans who are living overseas, they have better access to resources and they can do better. What you should be saying is, you know what? We have to get our talent to be at the same level or better than anyone, period.
All right, so currently, I listen to you.
Yes.
So let's begin again.
Okay.
Because you guys not going to pigeonhole me down into a particular path. So it's okay for you to say you guys in Jamaica, because that is a very convenient statement, which is fine. Let's work with that. You guys in Jamaica, put me in that big bundle of you guys in Jamaica. All right. Because when it comes to this, it is you guys in Jamaica. So so fine. I am one of those quote unquote guys in Jamaica. So let's look at it. I said at the senior level, the professional level, you can go, you can have 30 players. They can be born in England. They can be born in the United States. They can be born in France. No problem. I said, you see that even with the squad of France, the squad of Morocco, and many teams. At the under 23 level, it's professional. At the under 20 level, it is professional. The close is the gate between amateur and professional. FIFA sees under 17 and under 15 about developing the sport in nation. There is no FIFA competition. In fact, World Cup for under 15, it is regional because it is for development. What you are saying to me, because my point is, it is pointless to take them 30, 15-year-old, 14-year-old, right? Bring them to represent Jamaica and say we are developing grassroots football in Jamaica. You are saying that because I said that, I have a problem with people born outside of Jamaica. I don't understand that. That is what I want you to explain to me. Because I don't
So
understand.
if I said, management, I think when you guys on YouTube, I'm gonna put you on you guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this thing. You gotta be very careful with words and language, how you position things. It's not it's not my job to interpret certain things. It's my job to listen to what you're saying, digest what you're saying,
no, you
and try to assess what you're saying.
But you have to explain to me.
So when you come and make these statements, instead of you making a statement like this, Manington, which is, we have to make sure we develop our kids in Jamaica to compete at the highest level, and we have to put program, facilities, structures in place to accomplish that objective.
But what FIFA
when we
did,
start,
FIFA give you,
let me just finish now.
Cranky, but what I'm saying to you is that FIFA give the nation all the funding for grassroots development. They put these regional tournaments for you to use local talent. You are saying to me that Jamaica needs to abort that and go and get 30 kids elsewhere.
I never told you that. I never told you that. That's not what I said. I'm on tape. But here's my point, though. Here's my point. If you're gonna do under 15 team and you want to just call local players, that's up to Jamaica. You can do whatever you want to do. Right? Nobody's arguing that, Manning's man. You can do what you want to do. Here's my point, though, Manning's man. Here's my point.
Yeah.
You have competing priorities. You say your first priority is to develop local football. That's fine. We should always do that. In fact, we should develop all our footballers who can play for the country. But here's my point, Manning's man.
Mm-hmm.
You will never be able to get some of the cream of the crop unless you get them early, Manning's man. So you have a choice.
Cranky, you cannot.
Yes.
I will go as far as saying this to you. You cannot get a 13-year-old in England to come and play for Jamaica. Or you can't get them wholesale. Maybe you can get one whose parent is here. Do you understand that what you're saying, Cranky? That's
so, Manning's man, why you even made that? Why you made a comment anyway? So why you went on the road anyway? Why you bring that up?
So here's why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because remember, I started out by saying I had this conversation the other day, and people said quota, xenophobia. It don't happen because FIFA, the same amount of funding that England gets for their under 15 and Wales and all of those places and France, Jamaica gets it because FIFA says part of the grassroots development program is to have these things for under 15 in the local FIFA areas to help with the development of football. You cannot use that and take 30 players from England. In fact, FIFA will not allow it.
I have a question for you, Manning's man. I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
You know what is funny, though, Cranky? You know what is funny?
Yeah.
I said this, that even if the 30 players in our senior team are from England, are from United States, I have no problems with that. And you know what nobody said? You're wrong, Mannings, because it shouldn't be like that. It should be based on merit. What if there's a local player?
But Mannings, here's what I'm missing from the discussion you're having, man. I'm confused.
But when I go ahead.
I'm confused. You know why I'm confused?
Mm-hmm.
You said FIFA give the money to the local authorities to develop the football. Right?
Exactly.
Wait, no. That money is never going to be spent to develop the overseas-based footballers. Never. They will come if they decide to call them, come, play a few games, and go back home. How is that resources? Wait, man. You just made a point. I'm making my point. You said FIFA give money to develop the local talent, right? The ones that live on the island. I'm gonna try to parse everything away and take your argument. They give the money to develop the local players,
football,
right? Local grassroots football, correct?
Grassroots football, yeah.
Right. So how does grassroots football develop? How does foreign players coming in affect the development of grassroots footballers? I'm confused.
So, again, let's look at it.
Yeah.
If you have 30 players born in England who are the representatives for Jamaica's under 15, the question you have to ask is, how is grassroots football being developed in Jamaica by that?
So, Manning's man, you have a different question. The question you need to be asking is, given the resources provided to the local authorities, why aren't the local, and this has been happening, when did people start doing this? Is this a recent happening, or have people been doing this for a while?
Yeah, man, but let me just say this. Let me just go a little further.
No. Answer the money. We're going to unpack. We're going to unpack. Is it recent happening or been going for a while? I have a question to you. Is it recent or has it been going on for a while?
I can get the date. I'm not sure how long they have been doing it because they have been doing grassroots football. Maybe Coach Barrett can come on and tell me when FIFA started their grassroots program, because that is a part of their grassroots. So
here's my point, man.
Yeah.
Overseas-based footballers, whether US, I know we keep talking about UK, but that will change over time.
Yeah.
US, UK, Denmark, wherever Jamaicans are in the world, they all spread out. It doesn't matter where they are. There is no way that money that's provided to those football authorities in Jamaica, that a majority of those resources will be spent on those overseas-based players.
It's not spent. All right.
The most of the money.
So here's where you and I. Here's where you and I differ. All right.
Okay.
So their question, but Cranky will answer the questions in the comment section. So let me say this. Let me just don't move, Cranky, because I want to answer this question. You know, it's funny because I did say that you can ask anybody. The under 17 camp, not tooting my own horn, but I was a person who organized it because I believe that there's talent overseas. I said in the program, that there are players out of England that we are working to get their documentation to come and represent Jamaica. All right, number 2. Number 3, there's a player from out of New York who is coming to the training camps that they have. So to make it an issue, because the argument has changed to none. When the issue is you cannot have an under 15 team and you're talking about developing grassroots football and none of those players, none of them, and that is what I keep on saying, none of them are locally based because it means that there's no development. There's none.
Man, you're confusing. Man, when does development start? Man, it starts. When does development start? I'm confused. You use the word development. Think about what development entails. When does development start?
You tell me. I don't.
It starts at the national level, man. It starts at the national level. When you start playing for the national team, that's when it starts. Or it starts way before that. We say grassroots. Grassroots is corner league.
No,
grassroots is academy.
No.
Grassroots is under. No, that's grassroots football.
No. FIFA
from your 4, 5, 6 come through all the ranks.
Yeah. But watch this now. Let's break it down, Cranky. When we are Listen, Cranky.
I'm confused with grassroots.
Cranky.
Okay, go ahead.
For me to be talking about under 15 as grassroots development, and you're going to tell me like you want to say, no bother bringing the corner league stuff in it. All right?
No, but the point I'm making is, man. No, corner league is grassroots football. What are you talking about bringing corner league into it? Corner league is football at all levels from your very, very junior. I know kids here who play in grassroots football here, but they play on travel team, no money involved in it.
Yeah, but
at the end of the day, man, you're starting you don't start at 15 playing grassroots football, man. It's too late.
No.
At 14, it's too late. No, it's too late at 14.
No. Cranky. Cranky.
Yeah.
We know that grassroots is from puberty, like Brain says.
Yes.
So I'm trying.
Maybe for some people when you come out of the womb, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm
if that builds the ball for them on the belly. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure. So let me ask you again. My question that I want you to answer. I don't want you to tell me about how development should be. How does having 30, you are called to a CONCACAF tournament? Explain to me about development of football in Jamaica. If you see 13-year-old playing in an under 15 tournament, right? Who are all, we're going to use England. We could use the United States because that is the premise of the discussion. I want you to explain to me, how does that develop youth football in Jamaica?
So there's two things, because we sometimes ask the wrong question. for the situation. The first question you should ask is this: how could it be that we have let's say we have equal population inside Jamaica and outside Jamaica? How could it be that when we assess the talent, all the individuals who can make the team based on their ability and performance come from outside the Jamaica? That should be the first question. What are we doing wrong locally, given that we have the same genes and athletically the same, and mentally may be similar in terms of intellectual capacity? How can it be that all the third players come from? What are we doing with those funding that we have?
Let
me finish the management. You ask the question.
Okay.
Let me finish the question.
But you just asked a question.
What structure? Why is it that the structure? Why is a rhetorical question? Why the structure we put in? Why the structure we put in place doesn't produce better players to compete with talent outside? Because it's not on Jamaica. You compete with management. You compete with talent from every country that are participating in this sport. It's not only players you're bringing to play for management. You're developing talent to compete with the world. So even if you say, even if the English players don't get to your team, and those players are similar players who they're competing against across the world, that means your talent is not good enough. If you source them out from Jamaica, they'll never be good enough. Because your structure you have in place, the concepts you have in place, how you're operating doesn't put the talent to compete at a global level.
Yes.
So you're asking the wrong question.
So the thing that is happening,
and we should stay away from bringing up we should stay away. We shouldn't use any of this. We should stay away from these things. If you get asked the question, ignore it. I'll find a way to answer it. Let's not go into the overseas versus local, because it's a very toxic topic, including getting here how passionate I am.
No, all right.
It's a very toxic topic to address, man.
All right, so let me just say this, right? Cranky.
Yes.
Let me say this. And I said it earlier. So people start saying the squad is not out. They had a training camp in the United States. They're having one this week. They'll be having one next week. There's no squad that is selected. All right. They are training to select them. All right. So for those who are saying that the squad has been selected and joke squad, people, it's not the squad. It is a training team they have to select people, and they're going to do several of those. All right. All right, so just for the person in the comment section.
I have a question for you.
Oh, Lord,
I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
What happened? You make all of these things, they ask several questions. You don't go ahead,
question. No, real question, not rhetorical. So, management, your kids were born outside of Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have your two kids.
Yeah.
We have 28th place that's been taken by overseas players. Your two kids come, them are Jamaican. If you make the team, you'll give two local players them spot, if not them better than those local players. What are you telling me?
At no point did I, you see, this is where now you guys take things. At no point did I mention selecting people, because you're saying that if they are better than. You see, you are already assuming, right? You're already assuming that because the kids are not in Jamaica, they are all good, which is a problem we had from the first discussion. The first discussion was this idea that at 13 years old, and you have here Craig Butler, you have heard many people said, even the coaches overseas speak about at 13, how everything is really the same. It's really about coaching, If Jamaica had proper coaches, let me finish.
Go ahead, man.
If Jamaica had better coaches, coaches at those levels, our teams would have been more competitive. It is not a talent issue. Where the talent gets separated is when these players get into the Arsenal Academy at 16 and 17. So between 17 to 20, that is where, and I said that, I said that is where you can have a team with all of them born in France. It don't matter. But at 12 and 13, there's not, unless there's a tragedy, there's not much to separate them. That much. At 12 and 13, that is why.
So, management, if that's the case, why are we having the conversation?
But this is the issue. Because let me tell you, let me say it again. When I brought up the issue, Because remember, I brought up the issue in the context of I just helped to organize a camp because I saw some young players who were talented and I felt like they had a desire to represent Jamaica. So I will find a way to give them the opportunity to showcase their talent. I did that. That was the context of the conversation. I went on to say, with all that being done, I mean, a lot of them look like they're just, the talent here is just like them at that level. However, the development locally is important, and because development locally is important, if we're going to develop football, we cannot have at our lowest level, the developmental level, nobody in your nation, nobody in the United States, nobody in Jamaica, nobody in Trinidad, nobody in Guyana who lives in there, though they are Guyanese and Trinidadians born elsewhere and they want to represent their country. If you have nobody in there at 13 and 15 good enough to play in something that is not a World Cup, into something that is just a developmental league, if nobody in a nation at 13 and 14 can play in a FIFA developmental league in football, what is the sense? That is the point of the discussion.
So you're contradicting yourself, man.
How
you're
am
contradicting yourself.
You're an old man, so I contradict myself. How? Tell me how.
You are. So here's how you contradict yourself. You just said, you made a point that you can't have a situation for what you call a developmental league where all under 15s are coming from outside the Cleveland country, correct? Is that what you're saying? Let me just make sure I'm clear.
Because it's development.
Is that correct?
So here it is.
No, but let me finish. I'm making a point. Let me finish making a point, man. So local coaches says locally developed players are at the same level, same capability, same skill set as any one of their counterparts outside the country, correct? So if that is the case, how come would you ever have 30? If that's the case, if your theory is correct. Let me finish the man. Finish now.
But Cranky, I can't let you finish because that was the exact point that I made. I said, listen, on the show that I did, Cranky, I said, listen, there's this guy called Javin Williams at Mannings who went to Netherlands and was the MVP with players from Ajax. He's going to be a part of it. Because there's no...
my final point, though. I go back to you. The argument is moot. It's a moot argument you're making.
Jeez. All right, go ahead.
You ask a question. Is a point. You just said the talent level is similar. So how in Jehovah's name could we ever have a team of 30 players, 15 and under, if your theory is correct? How could that ever happen?
It wouldn't, but that's what I said to you, Cranky.
So why are we going on this path? So why we ask the question? Why are we even going on this path?
Cranky, listen, all I was doing, is you remember, I came on the program and I said, listen, I did a show doing the World Cup shows, and I cannot believe that people were making an issue of this thing when I clearly stated that there is no way, with talent being so equal at 12 and 13 years old, there's no way we'll find a team where local players would not be on it. No way, because at this level, the talent is really equal. It's just a coaching that makes a difference. I said that, and somebody said that it is quarter. That's what I was trying to clarify now.
But Manningsman is how you position this argument, Manningsman. Because I'm telling you, I think I can understand. I'm not the smartest person, but I think I can decipher things in some way, shape, or form. And I come on here all worked up based on what you're saying. So you're telling me I don't think I misinterpreted Manningsman.
Cranky.
It's very important. It's very important, Manningsman.
Let me say it again, Cranky.
Go ahead.
And this is how I said it. If you listen back, you'll hear it. And if you listen to the original show, I think Duckland was one of the person who challenged me. Is that the day that you have any nation who at the under 15 level have all the players in a developmental under 15 league outside of the nation playing their football, it is better for that nation. I said a lot of that, to not be playing football. It means then that there's no development.
No, as I said, sometimes how we position our argument and management and our perspective, right? If you came on the program and say, look, if you start out with the premise that you said before, which is, I believe that Jamaica's 15 under players are good enough to compete on the world stage. And I don't believe, given the talent level, that we'll ever be in a situation where all the players will come from outside. I think Jamaica can hold their own and compete, and they'll be competitive. That's a different thing from saying, I don't think we should ever have that situation that you mentioned, which is 30 players from outside the country, because it affects the development of football.
Okay.
Because the development occurs before they get to the national team. That's not development. That's the outcome of your development you're looking at the national level.
Again, because from what I saw, right? So, right? A couple of things is one, is that when they say the grassroots development, right? It's not necessarily like player. It is football, which also include, infrastructure, meaning surfaces. Remember when Andrew Edwards did it, the environment that the players are in. So all of these things are a mandate for the federation with this grassroots development. It is also in terms of educating the coaches, because again, Craig Butler said this about Leon Bailey, that at that age how talented he was. If he never had a Craig Butler as an example, then imagine what would have happened to his talent. We saw like a McGee, what happened with him because he was talented, but he just never had the coaching. So it is that comprehensive. What I don't agree with is and I will not agree with this, because like I said, I would not agree with all local players for the purpose of having all local players. What I am saying is that because talent is so equal, there is always going to be local players. But if you should ever find a time when your football at the under 15 and under 17 level have all players born outside of the nation, living elsewhere, there is a problem with the development. That includes the infrastructure, the coaching and stuff, because at that level, it is for the purpose of development. The under 15 tournament, you don't really get anything, there's no ranking, there's no, for a player, you don't have anything like you represented a nation. You don't go on your stats thing, because it is really at that stage, because you can have a 13-year-old who they're not professional really, and clubs can't even buy them. It's not like Barcelona can come and take a 13-year-old and do those things. So really, at that stage, it is where you have to prepare your best talent. Now, I know that parents are not going to send their kids as well. You are not going to send your 13-year-old to come and live in a place for a month, to prepare for things in a cranky. That's just not wise without chaperones. So that is why FIFA stipulate that a lot of it be done with locals. Now, unlike us, we have the United States is closer, So it's easy for a youth in New York, in Florida, and those places to come to Jamaica. It's easier because I find that, for example, the connection between Jamaica and the United States is way better than with England, because it's some far generation sometimes. But with America, it's like, I call it first generation Jamaicans. So that's true. They have immediate family. when except for like a Ricardo Gardner and like a Ricardo Fuller. You think about like Dean Burton as an example. It would be very difficult for Dean Burton to send his 13-year-old to come to Jamaica, It would be better for him to have him stay in the academies here, and then at under 17, under 20, this is where now I think Jamaica need to tap into those markets, because this is when I think it's at 17 they signed their first professional contract, right? In England. Or is it 16?
What age did Messi go to Barcelona? What age did Messi go to Barcelona?
Messi is different. No,
answer the question. No. Why management? Exactly, management.
There's only one.
You know how much Spain pressure Messi? Exactly, management. You know how much Spain pressure Messi if he can play for Spain? How much pressure he gets, management. What age did he go to Barcelona, management?
I heard it was 10 years old. I don't. I heard it was 10.
Exactly, management.
But how many?
Exactly.
But that's only one player who are cranky.
But Manning's man, but you only need one like Messi, no Manning's man. You only need a Messi, no.
So what I'm saying,
you don't need 100 Messi's, Manning's man.
Do you know that at soccer, right? Like Saka and Emil Smith or Saka and a lot of these guys, because they're in academies at the under 15, because like them have heel end, and like there's an under 15 guy at Arsenal, that have some Jamaican roots, He played with under 15, but he can't come because he's in an academy. No, when he gets to...
But Manning's man, you know, Manning's man, we're confusing the argument in the Manning's man. Because he's probably running to Manning's man.
Yeah.
England has realized, I think there were 130-something players at the last World Cup who were born in the country that they played for Manning's man. I just said to you at the outset of this, there's a war for talent, and it's going to start in the crib Manning's man. It's not going to start at 17 and 18 Manning's man. You're too late. The kids are playing together in the academy. They know each other. They play for under 15 for the country. They know each other. They go up to the under 17, under 19, under 21. They're now institutionalized in those environments. It's hard to get them out, Manning's man. So I do understand the dilemma you're facing. I understand the dilemma countries are facing, Manning's man. But if you wait till they're 17, you're too late. What age is Billingham? What age is Saka? Saka said he knows nothing about Nigeria. Billingham family come from Africa and Caucasian. But Manning's man, if you wait till they're 18, 19, you're too late.
Yeah, but Cranky,
they're getting younger and younger every day.
This is why here's what I think, Cranky. You see the late thing you're talking about, it's England, But I'm saying to you, there's a closer relation between the United States and Jamaica. Sometimes the very...
But my analogy is not about country, it's about location.
Just hear me out now. The challenge we have with players in England is that a lot of times it is harder for a 13-year-old to come to Jamaica for this trial. It's that from England. I think in the USA, it is easier. It is easier because a lot of these Jamaicans in the United States, they're like you and I, first and second generation, that probably have been here, or their mothers still. There's this legitimate connection. The challenge I have is again, and where you and I can agree is that our tracking of those who are ours is probably what we need to do for players who are not playing locally. So say, for example, Cranky has a son in London who is 12 now. Though it's going to be hard for the GFF to find out, but if he's in, say, Chelsea Academy playing some football, he's already there. He's already in Chelsea. I don't think that player needs to come and play under 15. What we need to do is to already establish contact with Cranky and track the player. When we are going to play, say he's good enough at 16, we call him for under 20 or the under 17 World Cup. But under 15 and those things, we don't need it. That's the point. That's really the crux of the thing, That is the crux of the thing. Because you cannot, it's going to be so difficult and disheartening for coaches, for the whole system, that, and like I said, it's not going, it was a hypothetical, so it's not going to happen. Where you look and there is an under 15 tournament, like I said, that is for development, and there's no representation of the youth in second and third form and stuff, because at that age they are close. But because the 13-year-old in England is going to be ahead of the 13-year-old in Jamaica and the United States, we need to track them so that at 17 years old, we can begin to cap them at that time. Because remember, you can still change. You playing under 15 and under 17 don't mean you have to stick to that nation, You can still change. I think.
Yeah, Manning's man. But I think what we're failing to realize, Manning's man, is that, as you're saying, we don't have the same proximity between England and Jamaica as between the US and Jamaica. Because a lot of people here, Jamaica is like next door, the way they commute between Jamaica and the US, right? It's like next door. It's a different engagement, different association, different linkage. So you have to figure out. We shouldn't say it's too difficult.
Hold on, the cranky. Somebody sent that message that took him to Spain at age 13. I don't. Yeah, not 18, not 17.
13, 10. What the difference? Man, not 15. 13, 10. What the difference? Is there a difference between 13 and 10?
I'm just.
Is there a big difference? But anyway, he was very young. That's the point we're making. He's very young. People like to be as exact as we going to be. We want this approximation. We just be exact going forward with his geniuses. Like what name? They recognize him. The acrobat can't spell his name. But anyway, it was try to get name and enough to do it, just put enough letters on it. No, he's been making other comments. I've read his comments. But anyway, if you have to name, just put some letters together and put a name together and say, you know what? Probably like him name. But anyway, people want to start me up, but they have no idea. They want to start me up. Let me just say this, man. Let me say this, management, which is, I understand the dilemma, management, but what we haven't done, management, we haven't built the affiliate. You're going to find a way to build a linkage in the management. And we should look at this as an opportunity versus a problem. And the people in Jamaica sometimes who run the administration and are involved in these activities don't think outside the box. They have one linear way of thinking. It's linear, it's straight. They can't deviate from the path that they go on. And we got to think about, which is, what's your objective? If your objective is to develop and export talent, then execute against it, if that's what you want. If your objective is to compete at the highest level, then you're going to do what the U.S. college system does, which is you get talent from, or what JC does. Don't go to the U.S. college system. Or what KC does, go Africa. Or JC go to the entire Caribbean and source them, and people start complaining about local. More complain about JC, than complain about the national team. Because JC is now infiltrating the island with overseas players into the system.
They want to
win. Right? They not want it by management.
You have to be careful. Like
if half your track team is not from Jamaica and half your football team is not from Jamaica, after a while, management, what happened?
Yeah, carefully go.
But we should complain about that.
Not management.
But as I mentioned, Casey go to Africa to source talent, right? Because we want to win. In any part of life management, people who are very, I'm going to say, capitalistic in nature, they want outcome. And what's going to give me the best chance of outcome? The NBA didn't become black management because people all of a sudden got rid of racism. They became black because players with the ability, they go source players wherever they are, and those are the majority players who have the ability, so they brought them in to play for their teams.
Yeah. You know what I believe?
And that's what we have in any... Go ahead.
You know what I believe, and I think you would share this idea. You see, and this is where now I think what the grassroots money that is given to the federation, there must be every parish must have under 15A, under 15B, under 17A, and under 17B. And there is, so there are 14 parishes. So in your under 15 competition, you have 28 teams. And you play every team except the team in your parish. Because you would have 2 under 15s, right? Because you want to capture as many people. So you understand what I mean? And that competition, and the same thing for the under 17. Those competition, they start, say, in February. They go February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, right? If you want to play schoolboy football, you can, but you'll still have that, right? And then your best coaches, your best 4 coaches, let's use that, in each parish, take up the team. That is funded by the federation, because that is the only way you're going to develop it. That way they are playing football non-stop, and they still have schoolboy football. You see, when the under 17 thing is done, then they can go into Premier League clubs or wherever. You leave, but the association has a responsibility of running a tournament. If you want to call it academy tournament, I don't care what you want to call it, but it has to be that there's an ongoing under 15 and under 17 competition. I know people are going to say, well, you expect Kingston to travel to so on. Find find a way to doing it. That way, I think there will be greater development. Even if you do it regionally, you make all the teams in Surrey play and all the teams in Cornwall play and all the teams in Middlesex play, and then you find the top 8 and then do something like that. But that way, you have to have the youth them playing more football. I talked to some coaches from overseas just last week, and the same thing they are saying that we play too little football. They were not impressed with. But they watch. Let me say this: they watch the schoolboy football game, and they were not impressed with the quality of play. Even the ones that were
you just told me how good those players were. We're not studying management. Just tell me how good they are.
No man, we're talking.
Did they watch under 15 play? Because we have Colson and Junior Coles. Did they watch under 15 play, and were they impressed with the talent?
So you know what? You know what? Though, Cranky. It's kind of funny when they bring, and this is what I keep on saying, when they take our under 15 teams to play in the tournaments overseas, like I think Cavaliers had gone and the Phoenix players, and I think Mount Pleasant did well. Harborview just took their under 15 teams and under 12 teams. They brought them to Spain. It's kind of funny, like how they go into these tournaments and they do well, and then something happened between 13 to 18, where the man in Spain developed at like 50%, while the man leaving Jamaica is developing at 5.
Well, look, I think if you want to really move the football program along, it's a more holistic approach to get you there. I've always believed, and I see that here actually, where the parents need to be involved with the kids, right? I have somebody at work, and it's a little bit different here because some of these people have resources, but she's in Arizona today, she's in Florida next week, she's in California next week, playing travel football or travel soccer with her team. Or another one of my staff, her 2 daughters play baseball. They drive at least 200 miles every weekend from Friday to Sunday. That's all they spend their life doing. I'm not saying some people can afford to do that. Yeah, management. They would drive from North Carolina to Washington, D.C. They would drive to South Carolina, drive to Atlanta. I'm telling you, it's crazy, management. But I'm not saying people should live that way.
Yeah.
Jamaica is not even that big anyway. Jamaica is not even that big. Jamaica is not even 200 miles from one to the next. The point I'm making, management, is this. If you want your kids to be successful, whether it's in education or otherwise, you got to be involved in their lives.
Yeah.
Right? And if you want the program to work, you got to start out much earlier than under 15. If you really want to develop a comprehensive, holistic football program that is sustainable and going to be successful, you got to blow up what you have, revisit it, as they call it, the term, kill the company, blow it up, revisit it, reconstruct it, leverage what you learn from other nations. You have to be to copy everything they do, figure out what works for you, your culture, your environment, your resources, and execute against it. What we have today, as we are saying, we've seen for the last number of years, doesn't work as we'd like it to work. So if you're saying we have the innate athleticism, and I hear a lot of people say this, then the question is, there's a lot of different things that's affecting our ability to develop our football. I'm going to go back to the cricket again, because I used to be a big cricket fan, play the sports a little bit, and I see how cricket has degraded over the years, year after year after year, till now we can't compete. But we haven't been made the last World Cup, frankly. Some of it is issues and regional issues, but we have gotten really bad management because resources and structure and know-how are becoming a differentiator. No longer just innate talent that I may have, a differentiating factor. I have to develop that talent, I have to harness that talent, I have to situate and position that talent to be successful. So whoever is in the powers that be in Jamaica, who is running the football program, and so we have a new Gen Sec, we're bringing in new people, they need to go to the drawing board and reconstruct, revisit, come up with a different way of thinking about what will this look like. You can put it on a board and then try to effect it and implement it. But what we're doing today doesn't work. If we have to have an argument, a discussion about 30 players come from overseas, then we have a problem locally.
But that is
because the development is not about the national. We talk about that. We talk about it now. It's the national team. I mean, the national team means I pick the best players at whatever level to be in that national team. And therefore, if you develop your players who supposedly, so the yam and the banana are probably even more athletic in Jamaica than they are overseas, because we mix up more over here. then they should be better than the 15-year-old come from overseas.
But
if they're physically,
exactly.
structurally better, and they got taught the same way, they should be better.
All right, exactly. All right, so look at this, right? So they have this is a training squad, people, because they are, trust me, there are other players, like I said, some of the players, for example, Cranky, who were in Florida. There are players in there that are very good quality, and there are other players who are going to come in. And you and I are really saying the same thing, which is it is almost hard to believe that any real footballing nation could have what you call developmental football, and you don't have anybody who can qualify to play it. So there will always be, all right? What we have to do is, so what happens? Yes, FIFA, you have these tournaments where they're going to be exposed, because the truth sometimes is the youth at Chelsea or the youth at Arsenal or Sunderland, those guys are going to be exposed to professional stuff. Now, I'm not saying that the GFF has to do this, but there may be academies in Jamaica that allows them to travel. But we have to get to the place.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. If Jamaica pick a basketball team, I'm serious about this actually.
Under 15?
And all the players come from outside. Yeah, under 15, any age level.
Yeah,
if they all come from outside Jamaica, would you be upset?
At under 15 level? Yeah, man.
Yes, under 15.
Listen, here's the problem I would have with it. I'm going to tell you why.
Wait.
You asked me if I'd be upset.
You think it's more feasible? Wait. You think it's more feasible though, right? For that to happen?
No. At under 15, it shouldn't happen.
Okay.
Because what? Just listen what I'm saying. Because if Jamaica is going to play under 15 basketball, it is to develop talent. So if you are then going to use 10, 15-year-old or 14-year-old from the United States, you're not really doing it. That's what I'm saying. But
my name is man. I must say this again. The national team is not to develop talent.
No, but
it's not a talent developing organization, not talent developing construct.
No, I hear you.
The national team is, but that's what you're saying.
No. Cranky. All right, maybe because I break seniors because remember I said to you, I don't have a problem with 30 players born outside of Jamaica, playing outside of Jamaica, whether that be England, France, or the United States, at our senior national team, whether male or female, under 23, under 20. The challenge I have is at the under 15 and under 17, where those are developmental programs, if you don't have any. So say that Jamaica decide to go and play in a CARICOM under 15 basketball tournament, and they get it's a 12-man squad, and then no player from Jamaica goes there for a developmental competition. It is defeating the purpose. That's all I'm saying. It has to be defeating the purpose, because whatever lessons those teenagers learn, they're going to go back to the United States. You still have the problem of basketball development in Jamaica.
The larger question is, why can't my Jamaican 15-year-old basketball players compete and be better than the players who are developed overseas? Should that be the larger question than the one you're asking? Isn't that the larger question?
Yes, I suppose that's why Jamaica don't play under 15 and under 17 basketball. That is why, because there is an issue. But we don't have, you see what happened though? We don't have the issue with track and field. Track and field is probably the better example to look at. Normally when athletes are coming to represent Jamaica in track and field, it's normally at the senior level, because you see at the under 15 and under 17 level, we dominate Carifta, we do it at Pens. But when you get to the senior level, you'll find more athletes probably changing nationality, but they don't necessarily do that because the development in track and field is so high class. So
isn't what you're basically saying is that we need to get our other sports program where we want to compete on the global scale to be equivalent to our track and field. Isn't that what we're saying?
Yeah, but why? Coaching. That's what I said to you. It's not the talent, it is the coaching. I said it in the cranky that, listen, you right now, you take some, I tell you this, you take some 12-year-old Jamaican youth off the street, go play against some youth, some pick up six aside. You would be amazed. I just watched the St. Catherine Primary School League. And I'm saying, no, sir. Them are youth, I 11-year-old. Man, them a fire the ball and all of them things, the 11 and 12. But Cranky, I tell you, you see what happens to them by the time they get to under 20? Shocking, shocking, shocking. You wonder if you see him play, you see at 12. So that is where I think our issue is. The 12-year-old in the States, you know this, you said it, his mother is going to bring him to his academy training every weekend and every day after school. And then if he's good enough, he's probably going to be in an elite academy where he's exposed to elite kind of stuff. So it's not that we don't have the talent. It's not that we don't have the talent. But, you know, all right, a good example of this. So they have a training squad, people. This is not the final squad. It's for the people them can lose them mind, you know. It's not the final squad. They have Phoenix, for example, has the most players as like individual players in the under 17 squad. Why you think that is? Because the Phoenix players have more play time than most of the other players. So they are going to be developed faster. So they have Carlton Brown. They have Carlton Brown in it. They have Dante Peralta in it. They have Dylan John from Phoenix in it. They have Denzel McKenzie from Phoenix. Though he plays for Mona. They have the one that Jamani Bell from Woolmer's Boys. So they have a good amount of players in this squad. Now, the other player is like Javin Williams, who went to the tournament in Norway and was one of the MVP. And this other player called Dunstan Cohen, who also went to the tournament and was an MVP in the Netherlands as well. Again, it's a training camp, but you can tell that.
Man.
Yeah.
Man. What's the biggest issue I see with this list? I'm seeing your list you're flowing through. What's the biggest issue with this list?
I know you see because you see schools and not clubs.
No. That's not my biggest issue. Fine with the schools and there.
Yeah.
They should be going to school. Why is it that the current champion only has one name on this list?
Kingston College?
No. We're not the champions.
Jamaica College?
Dethroned.
Jamaica College?
Yeah. Why does JC only have one player on the list?
because them have a whole squad. Them have big JC.
Okay.
JC have grown men, you know. You don't see the man here. The man here plat up. Like I never know that you could plat up here, go to school. But you know what is funny though? St. Elizabeth Technical won the under 14 and under 16, and they have no players on it. But
because some of those players probably playing. The players here are playing for the senior teams, right?
Well,
from the Manning Cup team and Augusta, I assume.
And I also think a lot of these players, some people are saying age Cranky, that is why you don't see any JC player on it. I think Cranky knows that it was a rhetorical question.
I understand it. Yeah, it was. No, I know that. I understand the concept. Or maybe they're not Jamaicans. But anyway.
The other thing is though, is that, and I would love to know. So El Granny, you were saying that because JC is preparing for the Olivia Shield, but there's a JC player on it though, so I don't know if that is the case, but it could be.
That cannot be the excuse. That cannot be the excuse, man. So there'll be no JC player here then if that's the case.
But
if they're playing for the Manning Cup team, I should say, because they could be playing for the under 16 and the Manning Cup team.
No man, that competition is done though.
So that's what I'm saying. It could be the player, a JC player, but he's not playing for the Manning Cup team. If they say they're preparing for the Oliver Shield, right?
Yes.
Then he's playing for the Colts team, and he's not playing for the senior team.
Yeah, man, but
good enough to play on this team. I assume that's what it is.
This player named Dylan John did play in the Manning Cup.
So all these players play in Dr. Cup or Manning Cup.
Yeah, all of them. But the other thing is that a lot of the players in this, I realize, also are connected to academies. So
how do we explain Stats winning and don't have any players here? Is that logical?
The best player at Stats, the centre back, the captain, the one who was injured, Alexander Gooden, he's on it. He's on it. the center, but the number 4, his name is on it.
No, we said Stets. You said Stets win under 16 in country, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Yeah, so I don't know
right. So where's Stets players here? Why are there no players here?
I don't know.
Why are there no Stets players here if they're under 16 and they're the winners?
And I also realized that there's no Campion player. And Campion have a young side. They have a guy called Kyle Mize up there, very good player. But I don't know why he's not on it, because you go to Campion, it's a different kind of a thing. You probably have exams and those things. I don't even know. But it's surprising that he's not on it. Maybe he's not even in Jamaica. I don't know. But he's one of the notable absentees. What Fresh God is saying is that maybe because those players from States never played Dakar Cup, because all of these players also played Dakar Cup. So though they probably played under 16, but wasn't good enough to play on the Dakar Cup team. You understand?
Okay. Sometimes coaches want to win a certain competition, so they withhold the players because they're young and wait for later on to play them, right? So if I want to win under 16, I may say, you know what? We're not good enough to win the Dakar Cup. Let me blend these players together. We win this competition, and next year you go play for Dakar Cup because you have a couple of years to play. So you never know.
Oh! Somebody just said that said that Miles just win under 16 with Campion today. Yeah, so maybe that is why he's not on it, because he played under 16 today.
No, he says he's here. He says he's here someplace. I don't see him.
No, I don't think he's saying he's here on the list. He's saying that he's here in Jamaica.
Oh, in Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So here's another question you're asking, which is both teams that you're saying that win the competition at the age group you're talking about have no players on this list.
Yes, I don't know if because they played like there's going to be All Island, like Campion will play against St. Elizabeth Technical. So I don't know if that is why they're going to be on the next list of players that comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is why I'm saying these things are why you need to explain to people. Like this is the first training camp. We'll be having one next week with some players. But somebody said Matthew Ellis from Charlie Mount is not on it as well. And there's a couple of players who play in the Premier League who are under 17 who are not on it.
Everybody can be on the list. Everybody who good can be on the list.
And then
I know like the English media.
Yeah.
Everybody who's good can be on the list.
Yeah, but let me just say to people though, Cranky, because it's very difficult. I will say this. It is very difficult to get under 17 players who are good to come to these things and play in tournaments, because they are in academies. And I know it because I know a few that we're trying to work on. Like a former reggae boy son.
All right.
Right, but he would want him to play, but he's saying that it don't know if it makes sense. He's probably just going to wait until the next cycle for the under 20.
I'm not waiting to get in a US team.
No man, not in the States, in England. He's a former reggae boy son in England, but he's in an academy. He's in
waiting to get the English team.
No, but
man, I'm telling you, man. We don't seem to realize the man.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Cranky, right. You know, I believe more and more players are going to opt to play, not just for Jamaica, but up to play for other nations other than the France and the England and this is why it is important that Morocco does well.
No, but man, that will only work. So I suggested this a while ago. I think I said this on Coach's Desk program. That's a good thing that Morocco has done well. That they have like 7+ players in their team who's born outside of Morocco. But that will only work if those players you're alluding to believe the country they're going to play for can be competitive. It doesn't make sense me go play for a country and they can't be competitive. And then I won't be on the world stage, is what I'm looking for. But I won't be able to win competitions, is what I'm looking for.
But wouldn't that also
just competing is not it, because I can compete with my local country, where I'm born.
Yeah, but wouldn't that also have to do with the other players? For example, like right now, as is, I don't think Jamaica can, as is, can compete, would have competed in this World Cup, as is. All right, but just say that you get 4 players in the Premier League. In other words, I think that could be, though the nation is not competing now, the kind of players you recruit may say to them, listen, if he's going and he's going, I want to be a part of that because it looks like we are going to be competitive. So you may not be competitive right now, you know. But when people see, like, I don't want to call any names because, right, say for example, Demarai Gray decide that, okay, I'm coming to play for Jamaica. And say, Ivan Toney decides, listen, I'm tired of this, I just want to play for Jamaica. As an example, just hypothetically speaking, I think that in and of itself would turn the heads of other players to say, well, if we join them, then it looked like we could have something big. Is that possible?
But Manningsman, these things are package deals in the Manningsman. The perfect analogy is what we see in the NBA, where people build super teams, right? Manning just say, you're great, you're going. I am going, someone else is going. Yeah. We all go because we think we can win.
Yeah.
It's that same concept, but you need recruiters. First of all, you need to convince those kids, I'm going to call them kids because they're much younger than I am, you convince them that we can have a structured, sustainable program, well organized, good leadership, good sponsorship, and all the things that are required will allow us to be able to be successful. That's the first thing. And when they come, we're gonna have this structure in place so they can be successful. And we also gotta, and they should be part of the recruit. If you convince them, they should be the recruiters also.
Yeah. Sorry, people, I've been ignoring. Let me get to the comments.
Yeah.
Yes, see, because I don't get into the comments. Nigel says,
I'm not reading comments. I'm ignoring comments.
he says we have
I'm ignoring comments.
He says we have 5 in the EPL already. Antonio, Lowe, Reed, Pinnock, and Bailey. We need 5 more.
No, we need 10 more. People gotta realize we didn't make the last World Cup. I don't want people realizing the Mannings, man. They are so associated with local developed talent. And look, if you want to just compete and be also around, that's fine. That works also. You give local talent a chance. You want to think. But if you want to go and sit down and watch Jamaica play in the World Cup, you gotta go source the best talent. Yeah. I'm sorry. You see what the coach did? They want to do with Morocco Management and fire the coach. When I fire the coach Management,
the Morocco
fire the coach because the coach no one side for player.
They fired the Moroccan. You know what?
They fire him 3 weeks before the tournament.
You know what is funny though? The government and the Football Association were at odds, you know. One wanted to keep the coach, one wanted to... Remember right before the World Cup, you know, people were saying that Morocco was not going to be there because of the turmoil, and look what has happened. But what I'll say though, Cranky, is this. Here's what I am banking my hope on. All right, so this is the first, let me just answer. This is the first of the under-17 training camps. So the same thing that they did in the States, they're doing here, and they're opening it for other players. So hopefully more players can come in and so what happened is that once they do that, once they come in, then they will come up with the final squad. I also know that there is a plan for one day, once they have the final squad, before the tournament, the squad itself is going to go to Brazil to prepare for the tournament. All right, so let me just put that out there. But here's what I also believe, Cranky. I think a coach is also important. And what do I mean by that? Will we get a European trial? I think some Europeans, like I said, it's not easy, people. I know it sounds easy. It's not easy to get kids to come to these things. I think when you get to 17, 18-year-old, when they can manage and be on their own, it's a little bit easier, in my opinion. All right. But let me say this with the senior team. I think a quality coach who is willing to sit down and talk to individual players, or like I said, like a group of players, you know, like how Pat Riley would have met with Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade. Regardless of what the organization is, if Magic Johnson goes and speak to them, people will still go to the Lakers. If New York Knicks, for example, who is a top NBA coach right now, Steve Kerr. If Steve Kerr were to be in New York, as an example, and said that, okay, I'm going to talk to KD and a couple others, though the people who run New York Knicks cranky are so bad, they could join because of how convincing Steve Kerr is concerning the project. And I think once the coach gets that buy-in, then the challenge becomes the federation to change. Can that work?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think, as you mentioned, Kevin Durant, it was Green and Curry and Thompson, but Steve Kerr recruiting him, right? Players are very influential enough. If a player believes you want to play with them, they feel the vibes, they feel like you have the same objective and goals, same commitment, they probably want to come and play with you. And a number of players who play in England, no matter what they say, they're not English oriented. Yeah. I'm telling you. Some are.
Yeah, hold on.
But some are not. They grew up in Jamaican household, Jamaican community, even though they're in a foreign land. They eat the food, they listen to the music. They have that in their DNA. The question is, how do I get them closer and link with the island and link with locally how we operate, what we do and how we do it, to bring them on board? I mean, some are far away because, you know, some of the fathers are not, and that's part of the problem, man, is bad. Enough of them mother not Jamaican and father Jamaican, yeah. You know, no one go on. They no go on. So that's part of the problem. Yeah. There's no linkage between the country and the father is never there. That's part of the issue.
Yeah.
So they don't have that connectivity. Some do, but some don't.
Yeah. Let me just say this.
So if you can get that, as you said, a coach, if the coach is a good recruiter, and if he's a well-known coach with a pedigree, players will listen to him.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Steve James, dear Cobra, I wasn't following the conversation between you and Steve James, but please, we don't need let's keep the peace now, man. Virgin, not sure you hear me cranky once we are Virgin.
So dear Cobra, wait.
No, I don't know what happened, but
dear Cobra getting feelings. Wait, in getting feelings hurt. So you can't give out flack, and you get as a Virgin is telling me now. You can't give out flack and get your feelings hurt, you know. You have to give as good as you get.
I don't know what happened between their crew.
You can't give out flack and get your feelings hurt.
And Stephen James. I don't follow what is happening, but please.
Don't be like the English person who like to criticize and can't take criticism. Don't be that way. And them good like the English person good at it, you know.
No.
That them have the pen and then feel the pen is mighty on the sword and then criticize and if somebody criticize them, then want to get out and themselves and get defensive. It doesn't work that way. And
I think we have also officially confused the chat. So the conversation that Cranky and I were just having, it was not about the under 17. It was about the senior team. All right. It was about the senior team. So
keep jumping around?
Yeah. So because some of them are asking about the
You're jumping on my bed because I'm thinking of 4:30 in the morning.
All right.
I do have a day job. Yeah, I'm gonna go out and try to recruit some under 15 to come and play in Jamaica.
All right. We have Stefan Wright calling. So bless up, Cranky.
All right. Bless up.
All right, cool. All right. Dear Kubra, I don't know what was going on between you and let's call back Stefan Wright. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, man. My name's what's up?
I am here, man. Good night. How you doing?
All right, so yeah, not bad. All right, so just to chime in real quick on the conversation regarding you and Frankie, right? So what I think we're missing something here now, but where you have these U15 and the U17 competitions, you see?
Yeah.
We have the competitions at that level, right? I don't think it is geared towards exposing players to aid in their development at that level, you know. Right, where the developmental aspect comes in is for you to select the best players who you can select at that level to go to these competitions, right? And then to compete with other nations and to look at your developmental program as opposed to the other nations at that level. Right, so that's where I think the developmental aspect comes in. I mean, yes, you might have 1 and 2 players who you think might go far away in their development if you send them or if they're able to represent at that level. But I think primarily how the developmental aspect comes in is for when you are representing at that level, right? Whether U15, U17, is to compete against other nations to look at so that you can look at your developmental program to see if it is on par or below. That's where I think the developmental aspect comes in, you know.
Yeah, but all right. So all right.
So to me, I don't think it's primarily there to aid in players' development, just to send them there so that they can get that experience. You're supposed to select the players who can represent.
Yeah, man. So, but it is based on you developing or you having remember, that's what I was saying, you know. It's not like, okay, let me develop you, but you create development and then FIFA affords you this regional tournament. Because remember, under 15 is not a World Cup, you know. There's no under 15 FIFA World Cup. It is regional, and there's no. So you don't.
But it's a tournament, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, and it's a very, it's different to the tournament. So there's no set, like under 15. There's no set like criteria. You can qualify. It's not like you have to play qualifiers and stuff. Sometimes they run a tournament and play it because it's about right. So the issue with that is that what you don't want to do is, you want to do well, but watch this. You have players learning and growing. You have to expose them to this level of football, like you said. When you expose them to this high level of football, it is going to help them because you're preparing them. My only issue is this. If in the nation, none of the players are being afforded that opportunity, right? Then you have a challenge. It means that there's something wrong with your development. And then is it any benefit at all if you have them? Remember, because this is just under 15 and under 17, you know. This is not. Remember, we already said that. When it comes to under 20, you have to find the highest quality players. Because at this under 15, you want to identify and track, all right, who are the ones that we need to keep track of and have them in a process, all right? See, they not just do it in the parish under 15, but they went to the Caribbean under 15 tournament and they did well. And so we want to keep track of them because less than 50% of your under 15 matriculates to under 20, you know. And they say this in international football, you know. Less than the big teams, you know, less than 50% of the players actually go on to represent the senior team, you know. If you look at Brazil, you know, you watch under 20 tournaments, you don't see a lot of the Brazilians who play in the under 20 playing in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? But so you have to identify those who you want to track all the way through the process because you know some are going to fall through. And if that is the case, then you have to expose, because remember the youth in the United States who is at the LA Galaxy Academy, he's playing already at an elite level. So he doesn't need to know how to adjust to professional environment. Right. But
totally agree.
You can't, if you take when these under 15, for example, if you never play in CONCACAF and them go take you to a tournament when you're 20, I mean, obviously we're gonna fail. Gonna fail.
Yeah.
We are going to fail.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Manning. So just to go back on the point, right? If it is that we can't find, right? If it is that we can't find players at these levels, at this whether U15, U17, to really compete with others at that level, we have to really look at our developmental programs.
Yep.
And we have to really stop and take a serious look at our developmental program. Now we might compare with track and field, but you see the major difference where track and field is concerned is that when we are representing at character, right, and all these tournaments before they transition into professional athletes, right, at our level, the athletes who are born locally, right, and performing out here, we are the best at that level. So really and truly, the comparison there is kind of black and white, because we are the best at that level. We are dominating at that level.
Yeah.
Now the issue is that if it is that we are not dominating at that level with our local born talent, that's where the issue is, man. Because if we are to choose a 28-man squad, a 30-man squad, whatever, however large the squad is or small the squad is, and we can't have 15 or 20 of our local born players who are the best at that age level, whether the players coming from UK, USA, wherever in the world, if it is that we can't provide that locally, that means something is fundamentally wrong, Mannings, with our development and our developmental program that we have out here.
But I'm going to give you a good example. All right. You see, in this training camp, more than half the players in it, more than half of them, they are players who are in academies. This under-17 local training camp, they are in academies, and a lot of them, and this is case in point, a lot of them have gone overseas and played in tournaments at high levels.
Right.
A lot of Phoenix players, the players that go away with Eric Rader makers. So what you find is that the players who are in academies and play high school football, right, and get to go overseas and play in tournaments, those players are always going to be the core. It is indicating to us, that when you get to the under 20 level, it is what you're going to see. What you're going to see is that the players who are playing in elite conditions are always going to be the best quality. Because at the under 17 level, we are seeing that it is the elite players, the ones who are in academies, they play schoolboy football, they travel and play tournaments, like Javin Williams, like I said, who was in Holland last year, dominating a under 17 tournament at 15 years old. Dunstan Cohen was there playing as well. Kai Miles was there in the same tournament. All of these guys were there, and these are the names that are before us now. The Phoenix players who Craig Butler's taken all over the world playing tournament. You see a Mount Pleasant player in there who has gone overseas. And so when you see these things, you realize that what some of these players need is to play more football, high quality football outside of Jamaica.
Exactly that, and that's the same thing as about this. What that is pointing to, right? That is indicative of us going to a point where, look here, that is the route of development that we need to take, right? Getting them into academies, you understand me, whether locally or overseas, right, and having them play and compete at that level, right, or at a higher level than what they are exposed to out here.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. That's exactly the same point I was going to. So. That's just my 2 cents, man.
Yeah, man. Respect. Always like your views. But this whole thing is a very, it's like I would not want. It's like truthfully. Let me tell you, truthfully. All right. So I have a son who they call him Kante, right? So he's here now and he playing the code. They rate him. They call him Kante. Very, 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 very young, right? Now when he goes. In January, I think, and he's going to be in academy playing with players. If they were selecting a team in Jamaica and they never call him at like under 15, it wouldn't bother me, because I know he's still developing. Because at that age, I am more focused on his development. Here, where it would bother me is at under 20. I know that he has he's on this developmental path. Now, under 20 World Cup is a big thing, and he is there, and he doesn't have the opportunity. You understand? Because I'm thinking, like, come on, he must be a way ahead of those who have not been exposed to all of these things that he has. but I can
That's
live
true.
with it at under 15. Because to me, at that point, he's still developing. That's just how I see it. And next person see it differently, but that's just how I see it. Because I think if there's something to develop, I already have that with him where he's at. So why not let somebody else who is at the same talent level be exposed to it, because they may never have the opportunity. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Fully agree with it.
But that's just me. You understand me? I'm just saying that's how I see it. You know,
Come on, I fully agree with it, man.
yeah.
You know. So big up, man. Great talking to you again, man. So we'll go on taking the program. See?
Yeah, man. All right, then big up Stefan. Yeah, man. Big up man like MPEC. Who is the coach for the under-17 team? The under-17 coach is Marion Gardner. I think Vassal Reynolds is also a part of it as well. The under-20 coach, people, because some people are asking who is the under-20 coach. Remember, the under-20 coach is the assistant coach to the senior coach. I think it's John Wall is his name. Yeah, John Wall, who is the assistant coach to Himir Halgrimison, is going to be the under 20 coach. Hey, listen, I think the whole coaching thing in Jamaica, like in the national program, is seriously changing up. Like under 17, under 20, under 15, on the female side, a lot of those things are getting changing up. Which is what. Listen, here's and again, people, this is my opinion, and I don't want anybody to think like I'm fighting against any locals. All right, please. Just listen. Just listen what I'm saying, because the first thing, man, Trayvon, listen, a lot of Jamaicans leaving, Trayvon Reed leaving, Busy Campbell leaving. There are probably two more Harborview players leaving. A couple more Cavaliers players leaving. In January, there are at least 8 to 10 players leaving Jamaica, right, to play in Europe and in the United States. So that's a good thing for Jamaica Super. But let me say this. Here's what I believe. I say it again. Male and female. All right? Busy Atkins. Yeah. Busy. Yeah, Busy Atkins. Not Busy Campbell. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a good one, Fresh God. Yeah. So let me say this is just opinion. This is not based on any facts, right? So at the senior level, I like how our head coaching structure is. Senior coach from Europe, London Nelson, head of the female program. All right? Good. I think they need to work with some local coaches. So whenever they are going to leave, because they won't be here forever, they would have passed on some of that information to the local coaches. I also think under 20 female and under 20 male must have that elite level coach as well. Meaning, like what John was, so the under 20 female coach, I personally believe, should be one of those UEFA licensed coaches. That's the kind of level you want there, and they work with a local, both on the male and the female side. This is just opinion. You see, the under 17 program, here's what I think. Yeah. All right. The under 17, I think what we need to do, this is where we need to find now at the under 17 level. We find a couple of our reggae boys who have the requisite qualification and are coaching at elite level outside of Jamaica. Right? Maybe it's a Ricardo Fuller. Tell me some of the other coaches. Paul Young, Freddie Butler, Carlton Simmons, Gregory Simmons, Desmond Simmons. I don't know. I just call in random names, all right? So don't tie these names down. You get one of those guys at under 17, and then they work with a local coach. You see, under 15 teams, you can use your local coaches, your best local coaches there. Maps, Ricardo Fuller, Ricardo Gardner, those kind of, that's how I see it personally. So at your under 17 level, you get some of your highest qualified former players with international experience at your under 17 level, right? Even Darren, whomever it is, Dean Burton, I don't know, any one of them. But this is just people, this is just my opinion of how it should be. But you see, under 20 and senior football, the elite coaches are up there and they work with some locals to help them, right? But that's just my humble opinion. And if somebody said they don't agree with it, it's not a big deal. All right. Marion Garden is over the under 17. We wish him all the best. You understand me? They have said that this is one of the best group of under 17 talent in a while that Jamaica has had. And they have a lot of experience. Again, a lot of these players have played multiple tournaments overseas. They are in some of the better academies in Jamaica. All right. So we expect a whole lot. Hopefully, those players who are in England the 3 or 4 of them can get all the requisite documentation and come in. And then those in the US who they would have seen, they can make it. So we have a good mixture. If you can get, because the camp was the camp in Florida, though it was very concise, it was the first, and I want to work with the people to make more of those things happen. In fact, my thing is that I want to know, where's the leader? The leader is gone. If leader is here still, you know what I'd like to know? Not for this under 17 tournament. The next one, I'd love to know when it is going to be and what is the age range, because I would love to start doing camps for now, not for the 2023 tournament, but for the 2025 tournament. So I know what is the age and when. So starting February next year, because I don't want to be in the late thing, I want to be on the ball and start doing camps from next year for 2025. So with a year to go, we already have 40 players that we know settle on. Right? So if somebody can tell me after this under 17, when is the next one? I need to know that so I can start. Because I'm telling you, I've reached out to some well-thinking Jamaicans in the United States who said, listen, you know that we are in the New York area. We can get some talent together. We are in, you understand me? We are in the Houston area. We are in Florida. We are in Miami. We are in Boston. You understand me? We are in New Hampshire. So that would be good. Yes, MPEC. He was impressed. All right. So the game that you saw is actually there's a 9. I don't know if you realize that there was a 9-a-side game. And there was a 11-a-side game. What I'd say is that, listen, I wasn't overly impressed. I saw a couple, well, more than a couple, because a couple mean 2. Nitro said Birmingham, listen, if somebody can get the link to Birmingham, like somebody is willing to do that, but that's what I want to start working at. Because I believe the way that I can help is make these camps happen. Whomever the coach is, so may I try help him to come and visit the players and see the players. Because we have the cameras and things, so him can even stay at Jamaica and watch and analyze or wherever he's at and see the game, and we can put on the camps. You understand me? Because that way we would have the players for longer, because this camp, they come in, they play some games. What you want to do is kind of say, listen, all right, this is what, do your whole, what back in that days, them say blackboard work, you use blackboard again, big tablets and them things there. You understand me? And please, people, do not mention West Indies in the chat. What wrong with it, man? Yeah. But a lot of people said that they weren't impressed. With the which one of the games was it? The 9-a-side games or was it the full-sided game? And you have to understand, they never had a lot of time as well, you know. And listen, kids, Virgin, there were kids, you know. Some of them came in all the way from Houston, you know. Yo, I'm telling you, listen. Hey, let me just say this. JFF, right? If anybody from the JFF hears this, if anybody from the JFF, you listen to this part. This is not a criticism. Here's what I want you to do. You see, all of those kids that came, the 40 of them, in such a short time, email them or email their parents. Outside of verbally thanking them, communicate with them. Send a message, generic message, to all of them. Do not let December 25th pass and you don't do that. Some of them bought tickets, they drove miles at short notice. You never know. You never know what is going to happen because they may not look good now, we're not 15, but at 22, it could be a star. Let them know that, listen, we really appreciate you. We are glad that you came out. And right now, we have some other players, but we'd love for you to continue your development so that we can look. Please communicate with them. And also ensure that you communicate with the people who helped organize it. Tell them thanks. Don't slam the door. Keep the door open. So anyone associated with the JFF, I hope you are hearing this and do that. Don't let December 25th pass without you communicating with them. Talk to the people. Thank them. Any professional play? Well, at that age, you know, you don't have any professional. Remember, they say you don't sign professional contract until you're like 17, 18. So it will be amateur players. Like I said that, I know I've talked to former reggae boy parent, but it's very difficult. He really I think he's going to let his son come for the under 20 because you see when they're in the academies, I think sometimes they think it's easy, you know, easy for them to leave the academies. Like, they would have to go directly to the tournament. Like, if Jamaica qualify for the World Cup, the Under-17 World Cup, it would be easier. Because the World Cup caused a lot of these academies to be on break. So now, they're back in training. And the players that you would be getting would not be the players in the... No, man, I'm talking the players in England. If Jamaica get players out of England, no, it wouldn't be the players in the top quality clubs or second tier, because they're under 17, under 15, under 18, under 20s just start back really. You would get them if you qualify for the World Cup, and that's the next thing. They're probably not available right now. But what I would love for the JFF to do is that if the team qualifies, then they look at some of these players in these top clubs to probably bring in a couple of them. You know, but it is very difficult for them to leave and come at this time. That's what I'm saying, that when they're under 20, it's a little bit different because under 20 are professionals and you can actually talk to agents and stuff. Right now, it is saying to the parents, can you get the kid out of the club, and the parent have to really do it. And a lot of the parents don't want to do that because they want their kids to, yeah. Yeah. Janaya Brown saying they so but will they be in the final squad? I think we need midfield. Yeah, and I think we have to do that. We have to realize like we qualify, but guess what? We need to plug these gaps. And here's this play. Like for example, if you have a youth at Chelsea who dominating the U20s, I'm not going to come right now. But I can tell you what, if you qualify, you have to go and get him and drop him in that center midfield or in that goal or stuff like that. That's just how it is. Yeah. Hey, Granny Hero. You know, so sometimes the people them say me head chip, them not go want me up on the JFF, man. You don't want me get cross. What about when we get cross? You understand me? Yeah, yeah. But hey, people, a lot of people talking about USL, you know. The USL is going to get uh better still. So at the end of the day, listen, the truth is, you know, like I prefer if the players go to Europe? Yeah, but who was it? You remember I was talking to Coach Robin Fraser. Remember Coach Robin Fraser of the thing next week Saturday at Waterhouse. I remember what he said. Listen, a lot of players who talk about going into Europe and they don't want to come MLS and all of that. The man said like, listen, a lot of them, one, they don't pay as much money as in the US. Number one. Right? Them they are Europe, but them not earn. Them they are Europe, but it's not as competitive. Right? So you have those two things. So we have to measure. We have to measure it. Like it's not everywhere in Europe is better than the leagues in the United States in terms of pay and play. So for example, if you can't get into one of the teams that go and play at least conference league, does it make sense? I don't really want to call no European name, but imagine I'm gonna play in an Estonian third division. Understand me? You don't agree. You say you don't agree with him. You don't agree with him. You don't agree with him. That MLS. You don't agree with him. Yeah, I agree that MLS is better than some of the leagues. I agree that MLS is better than some of the leagues in Europe. I think so, man. I think MLS pays. Listen, people, MLS pay good money. What you think? You think? Why you think Andre Blake don't leave? Not all of them pay good money. Um, yeah, MLS better, man. MLS better, man. No, me just you see it now, wicked man, Chris. Me just use it as an example. We just use it as an example because sometimes we just say European League. You know, yeah. Yeah, but oh no fall fee that pay a USL. Oh, not the USL, that's a sure thing. Andre Blake. No, Wicked Man Chris, me just use it as an example. Brother, me say that as an example. Wicked Man Chris, all right with you, brother? Hey, man, say anything outside of Jamaica. No, don't say that in a Roger Grant because if you hear a man say him leave in Jamaica for go play in the Turks and Caicos Premier League, you go cuss and say no have no ambition, see you know. Wicked Man Chris, you know what I actually said, if the team's not at least playing in conference, in the conference league, sometimes it don't make no sense. And you see what you you call it better leagues, you're not easy, Oh boy. Patrick Riley says, in Malta, I don't agree because the coaches here are nearly bent on sending players to Europe for better development. Okay. Are bent. I think that is what. Andre Blake. Andre Blake prefer to play the right league, not the best league. All right. Roger God said the Turk and Caicos lead play better. Okay, boss, but now I'm running it down, Blake not motivated to move. He's well paid, live good, his wife and kids doing well. He's set. All right. And he did a big thing. Big up Andre Blake. I know he did some give back in Clarendon. Big up captain for the Reggae Boys, Andre Blake. Furthermore, a second division team in Estonia have the capital for bring cross players from them side of world. Yeah. All right, boss. When the clubs go to America in the summer, the MLS teams play the youth players of them team. Example, when your team Arsenal go there. Okay. MLS a big thing, man. MLS is the 10th highest ranked league in the world, Okay. Big up Peso. I know for sure the EFL champion. Yeah, man, no, come on, man. We know that, man. See, they're fresh. Them a get money. See, first play Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League as him left the island. So that a big money reach. All right. Yeah. All right, people, listen. You have to give thanks, You understand me? Hit the like button, please, and give thanks because it's a 2-hour show, and we have come to the end of it because tomorrow at 2, you know that we're doing a big watch along to the first semifinal. But I don't know, me no shadow the World Cup thing because my team get knocked out, My team get knocked out. Bad. But we're going to do 1:45 tomorrow. We have a big cast. A lot of former footballers will be on that one. And the regular persons, Demo, Coach Swaby, Mr. Speed, who again, Chris Lynch, Pioneer going to be around. So that's tomorrow for our watch along. Yeah, man. But we have to big up Andre Blake still because he went back down there into Clarendon and gave back to his community. You have to big up the footballers because sometimes when them do wrong, everybody want to highlight it and tear them down. But big up to Andre Blake, much respect, you understand me. I always thought he was a Christian, so I asked somebody to check and think, but me here say, man, I'm not Christian. I always think he was a Christian, he would still know, but me here say, not no gospel still, but I don't know. Yeah. Brother, Wicked Man Chris, me just use that as an example. It was a hypothetical, brother. Lego the Estonia thing, no man, no. No, Lego. No, Lego the our language barrier not good enough. If you play in Mexico, you probably have to learn Spanish. Okay. Yes, but them not take our league serious enough. Come on, Croatia. Send man. Yeah, man. We have some players going to El Salvador too. Before the end of January, the big gift to the I am sure fan base in January is Coach Himir Halgrimison. That is the gift that management going to give to you. All right, live and in living colors. Coach Halgrimison, live from undisclosed location. Remember in January. That is going to be your gift. We have something big for you, a Christmas gift as well. Ralph is not the agent of Trayvon Reed. You hear that? Ralph is not the agent for Trayvon Reed, all right? All right, yes, but 99% of the players in there speak Spanish, even though it's a universal language. BB Cross in the building. What you doing obsolete? Yeah. Is maybe the agent is Nazir Gray. Feel like this person is an agent, you know. He might always have be an agent information. I wonder if he's an agent. Maybe he is the agent. I don't know. Are you an agent? Are you the agent? I don't know. Mr. Gray, are you an agent? Are you the agent? Are you want to remain incognito? Anyways, people, 2 hours tomorrow. We'll be back at you again. Please make sure you hit the like button before you go. Wonderful show it was, discussing under 17 football. Been a while we did any of this, you understand me? So a lot of respect. Happy to see more Jamaicans leaving. You understand me? We may not like it from a footballing perspective, but a lot of these guys, Trayvon Reed has his child to take care of. You understand me? Preacher! Hey, Preacher, we can't understand. Preacher, we need you. You see, tomorrow we're going to send you the link, 2 o'clock, semi-finals of the World Cup, Preacher. You have to be there, You have to be there. You understand me? So big up, bless up, everyone. Be safe. Join us again tomorrow, 1:45. Every man on the chat. On a big up every woman. On a big up every person who call in. On a big up every person who hit the like button. Big up on yourself. Wicked man, Chris. You don't know, so we can't busy. I leave Jamaica in January, man. I leave January. Sometimes we can't really put it out. Some of the times, just know that he's leaving, all right? But some of the times we can't really disclose certain things until it actually, I'm like that, I'm not going to really break person's confidence, you understand me? So, maybe others will, but I'm not like that. If somebody share the information with me and say, man, but you can't share this until X, Y, and Z happen, I'm not going to do it. I rather don't do no show. Yeah, all right? Yeah, man. All right, so bless up. But what I will say is that, see the coach I make some big moves. You understand me? The Reggae Boys coach, I make some big move. People, football are going nice again. We're telling them more about it. What me say? Football are going nice again. Are going to love the Reggae Boys. Big up coach, I agree with her. So big move, massive thing. Yo, me happy. I tell people me happy, but I can't tell you tonight. You understand me? Yeah. Hit the like button, man. Maybe we get 100 likes. Yeah, that's what the Fresh God when we drop a video after the World Cup and talk about what coach I go on with. But bless up one and all. Yeah, man, Fresh God definitely we link up in the morning. You understand me? So bless up everyone. All the moderators, lots of respect to you all. I am Management. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And you know what we say when we get here? We say we are over and we are OUT out of here.
Boom, check it out. I don't know it's Jason. I'm a represent for I Am Sure Sports. For the latest news and updates, check out I Am Sure Sports. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe and share. Jason representing I Am Sure. I Am Sure Sports.